Hey everybody, Jay Barino here. Welcome back. Continuing IXION. We are on to Chapter 1. Send me in. We finished the prologue last time where we tested out our fancy new Vol engine, which shattered the moon. We have since returned to the Sol system an undesignated amount of time later, so let's see what's happened. Alright, we're back. We're paused. We have requests. First thing you might notice, the hull integrity is now negative, because every time you vol jump, it does permanent damage to the ship. So we have to feed alloy into the EVA airlock to keep the hull from not depleting fully. Every sector you open also does additional damage to that tick. So we have to manage that very, very closely. All right, let's check our requests. Administrator, you may have noticed that the moon has broken apart. The crew are aware of this, and many rumors are spreading throughout the station. You will have to make an official statement. Something must have happened during the test jump. Being such a high-profile event, it was a perfect opportunity for them to strike and sabotage our plans. It is our fault. Despite our robust safety measures, a system failure at the exact moment of the jump caused the engine to drag a part of the moon with it into self-similar space. This failure has cost humanity dearly. Our mission is now to rebuild.
The crew's trust in your leadership is falling.
I don't think there's any way to avoid a trust penalty at that decision. And then, let's check outside the ship. It's not looking too good here with the Earth. No signals detected. DOLOS comms unresponsive. So, Administrator, the crew are asking a lot of questions about the state of the Earth. Moonship behavior algorithms predict a decrease in productivity of 22% if those questions go unanswered. As Administrator of the Tiqqun Station, you should find some answers quickly. So we will commit to sending an expedition to Earth, which I'm going to do immediately. And then we've got the Urshinabi out there too. So now the goal is to figure out what's going on and see if we can reestablish communications with somebody somewhere. I'm also going to turn on auto build for our probes. It's 3 polymer per tick. That can be pricey over time. So construct a probe, we're doing it, and then we're sending in a crew to Earth, and then we want to check out the Urshinabi. Until any of that stuff is sort of resolved, there's nothing we can do. But we're right by the Earth, so let's kick up the game speed. Trigger this. No signals have been received from Earth. The oceans seem to have evaporated, and the surface temperature has risen significantly since the Tiqqun was last in orbit. Atmospheric readings indicate the presence of a strong dust storm and dangerously high levels of carbon dioxide, radiation, and microplastics. The blue planet will never again deserve its name. So the first thing I'm going to do is scour the globe in search of survivors. The team will use all the tools on board the sensitive to search for any signs of civilization, community, or survivors. Let's do it. 3 cycles. And there's really nothing we can do in the meantime. I could build a second science ship. Polymer is short, so I'm not gonna worry about that right now. We're just gonna wait for probes and then start scanning. So find an asteroid with iron deposits. So we could do that right away. Alternatively, we could scan for more science. Now you can see the system's got all sorts of stuff in it for us. First thing I suppose we could do is let's grab this this iron here, and this is just pixel hunting. At a certain point, you're looking for the bright green. There we go. That's pretty close to us. And then kick it back off. Wait for the science team. There we go. And it wants us to build a mining ship so we can start harvesting it. So I will do that. The sooner we can do that, the better. Because we're going to need more steel. We're going to need a lot of steel. Alloy, excuse me. Okay, we're still waiting. We're really just waiting for this event. It's going to be a lot of waiting, especially towards the end of chapters, so I'll be cutting footage out as we clean up.
A science ship team has completed.
After a long search, we have found nothing but rubble. We've seen no signs of life, not even a corpse. The lunaclism seems to have caused a series of events that precipitated the collapse of thermo-industrial civilization. The Earth has become a toxic and arid wasteland scoured by harsh winds, now more inhospitable than Mars. The only remnant of civilization we found was a fallen steel where the city of Washington once stood. Stuck in a crevasse, it had been sheltered from the wind. A prayer imploring divine forgiveness was engraved in gold on its surface. Okay, science, alloy, polymer. I'm going to go ahead and collect some of the science first. We've constructed the mining ship, so now here it is, and we can go ahead and instruct it to go ahead and start. Please, picking up the iron. We have no way to process the iron right now, though, to keep in mind. So our cargo ship is picking up we have it assigned to pick up any finished materials that we find. So it's going to go back and forth from Earth and pick up those things. And the cargo ship is going to be busy for a while anyway, so this is fine to collect the science first. So we finished cryonics, so now we can go ahead and queue up steel mill, which is our main objective as well. The game is basically telling you, like, you need steel production now. Like, you cannot wait. You need it immediately. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and investigate the DOLOS headquarters. And again, there's really nothing that we can be doing. We can be every time a probe is ready, we want to send this out. So we're just looking for really any place we can go to. The biggest resource that we're going to be needing is iron, but also people, of which there really aren't many. The converted oil rig which DOLOS used as its state-of-the-art headquarters is gone. Only a few metal scraps remain, scattered across an expanse of dusty, cracked earth. There is no sign of survivors. Okay, a lot more alloy. And let's go ahead and investigate a personal location, our family home. Because we're the administrator and we can do it. Okay, this is good. It's bringing back polymer. What I'm going to do right away is I'm going to build a second docking bay. You can see the reason I moved this one is you can't build under the sign. You can't build space buildings under the sign that go against the hull. So we do it like that. And then further, we're going to need a cryonic center, so I'm going to put that here. And then we're going to need a place to put the people. This layout isn't great, right, because we're leaving some space there. The reason I'm doing it this way is because we can run a road up like this, and then eventually we'll have larger storage that'll fill in that whole area. But for now, we're just going to pause these. I don't want to build these right away. That's for later, so just keep them powered down. I just want this docking bay because each thing only houses 3 ships, so we need more cargo ships. We need more miners. Okay, we're waiting on personal location. And we're waiting on a steel mill research, which we're going to need this 45 science for.
A science ship team has
a huge crevasse cuts through the ground where your home once stood. There's no trace of civilization. More alloy, and we have some electronics. That's handy.
A new request awaits your attention.
Let's go ahead and send the sensitive out to the Urshanabi for our main quest here. And we have 2 events. Administrator, mission reports from the expedition to Earth are being discussed among the crew. The thought of having lost all loved ones left behind has destroyed morale for many of them. The symptoms of this trauma have now been collated under the medical designation Dead Earth Sickness. So -1 stability, permanent. Permanent! What's this? Administrator, to safeguard humanity, we must find survivors and increase the station's population. We do not have time to go through the classic reproductive cycle of your species. Adding new members to the Tiqqun's crew will have a positive impact on morale. Chronic stasis, a practice pioneered by DOLOS, was in growing use even before we left the solar system. There's a very high likelihood that cryonic pods containing survivors await discovery. Find and collect 500 chronic pods. We absolutely will be doing that. That's not a commitment, that's just an objective at this point. Okay, so we're heading to the Urshanabi. We don't want to head to the Urshanabi because we want to collect the science at Earth. And as soon as this is done, we can build more ships. And we can kind of utilize the docking bay here. I'm going to go ahead and mark alloys as a bit lower on the list so that we can go ahead and pick up the... let's go ahead and do 3rd priority. So he'll pick up electronics first and foremost, then polymer, then alloy. There's an auto repair off in the EVA because when you mouse over this, or when you highlight over this, I should say, it says EVA airlocks are running at 71% efficiency. The higher the hull integrity is, the longer it will take EVA airlocks to identify new breaches to repair, lowering their efficiency. So I like to leave this off for like as long as possible and then repair back up because you're going to get more bang for your buck. We really just need to find an equilibrium where we could turn it on and you know, we don't want to be over-repairing, but we also can't die. Okay, there's our electronics. We'll just turn this on briefly so we can pull those in. And that's done. We're still waiting on steel mill. And we're collecting... Am I collecting? Okay, he wasn't... I guess I didn't fully click it, so he wasn't collecting. That's unfortunate. Okay, let's go ahead and build some cargo ships. Let's build a cargo ship and a mining ship. We'll build the third cargo ship here pretty soon. And we're bringing in polymer right now, so this is a good use of our money. And we got to make sure we're sending out probes at every chance we have. So I think down here is Mars. So we'll shoot that out. How many people do we have? All right, we have enough of a buffer that we could make a steel mill here pretty soon. Like as soon as we're able to, we're going to throw down a steel mill so that we can get some alloy output again as soon as possible. That's fine. Again, the placement isn't great, but we have to do it. Administrator, Sector 1 has almost reached its maximum structural load. With more infrastructure surely needed soon, a new sector will be unlocked. Originally, sectors were programmed to automatically unlock after completion of the mission to Proxima Centauri. With the change of the Tiqqun's mission objective, this restriction could be bypassed by manually overriding gateway lock algorithms. So I will not pledge to unlock a new sector. 10 cycles is way too low. Unlocking a new sector requires a lot of extra resources, a lot of extra workers, and it does permanent damage to the hull, where the hull requires more alloy to upkeep, basically. So we're going to say the Tiqqun doesn't have the resources to undertake this right now. So we had to deny that request. I don't love having to deny the request, but in this case, yeah, it had to be done. Let's just flip this on real quick to get the two things that are needed for it. And in fact, since I have it on, we're going to go ahead and resume this one just to get the... get this being built, because we're going to need it. And then we're going to turn this one on as well, and you're going to be cryopods. And we... Yeah, so that's being built. Let's head back out, and more probes. And we're mostly looking for the science, but we are going to need more and more and more iron. Iron is the main thing right now. Again, looking for where it turns bright green to make sure we're getting all of it that's available in that area. Just because I could collect carbon, I could find some silicon. We will do that toward the end of Chapter 1, but right now we don't have a way to process it. So it would just take up room and space that we don't have. So science is just about done. So now we can go to the Urshanabi. Okay, now we're bringing in more iron. And we do not have enough power to run this. So turn this off, and we have enough polymer that I could go ahead and build solar panels. So I'm actually going to go ahead and build 2. It's pricey, but we need them. And I do have some science to spend. So what do we absolutely need next? We're going to need batteries. So all of these also have sub upgrades, so like cheaper solar panels. We want that as soon as possible, but we need to finish all the tier 2 upgrades to get to that. So we need to finish all the unupgraded tier 2 sciences. So we can go ahead and grab batteries. We can go ahead and get the polymer refineries, and then yeah, we'll go from there, because that way we could put carbon inside the polymer refinery, make carbon into make polymer.
Probe has completed its scan.
Okay, and we're just going to keep shooting out probes where they're available. Go ahead. Quicksilver, we're going to have you start collecting collecting iron to come in, and then I'm going to also have this guy go and pick up those cryopods first and foremost. And then you're just going to keep mining iron. That's good to go. I do have a second miner, so I guess both of you just go ahead and mine iron. Now, some people like to expand to another sector to make their industry early. On hard difficulty, I found like you just need to get that. You need to get that alloy processing as soon as possible. Urshanabi, what's up? Our sensors have detected the Urshanabi. The ship is broken in two and is not transmitting any signals. The phrase, "Whoever helps Dolos is an enemy of humanity," has been daubed in large letters on the wreck of the Urshanabi. Mummified bodies have been attached to its hull. So it seems like because the Urshanabi worked with us in the past and we were the ones that caused the doom of the Earth, they were desecrated. So we'll gather the remaining resources, then we can head to Venus after this. I'm going to go ahead and make yet another cargo ship for this docking bay. We can turn this on. You can be... I want you to be alloy, and I want you to be iron. They'll flip their stuff back and forth and figure it out. But you need to be turned on.
Administrator, we are picking up a DOLOS emergency frequency broadcasting from the facility Outer Hope. DOLOS protocol dictates that in the event of a major systems failure, administrators must contact the nearest DOLOS site immediately. Outer Hope Station is likely to have both the materials and expertise required to repair the damage that the Vol engine has sustained. Hull integrity below 50%.
Okay, we'll have to be turning on that auto repair here pretty soon. Let's look and see where we're at.
The science ship team has completed a
Good
task.
timing. The ship was full of food. I hope the expiration date hasn't passed. Everything is ready for extraction. One thing that's interesting to me is, like, it's totally unclear how much time has passed. Like, presumably it had to have been very long, such that the Earth is like this. Surely that was an instant, even though we destroyed the moon that led to that happening. Tiqqun sensor array error, incalculable fragment counts. But, like, the Urshanabi's still, like, hanging out there, so who knows. We're going to send the sensitive over to Venus. Okay, and then... Oh, there were some cryopods down on Mars, I guess. So we're waiting for a science ship there, and... Yeah, I think we're just chilling for now.
Ship has arrived at its destination.
Good timing. Hello, Venus. Probe data has revealed mining and industrial infrastructure.
A new request.
A new
awaits
request.
your
Great.
attention.
According to reports from the exploration team, the subterranean site consists of mining infrastructure and a large assembly line. Many embulbed bodies were found in the area. The line seems to have originally been used to fabricate solar sails. Tiqqun engineers suggest that with minor repairs, it could be restarted. So we could send them 10 alloy and restart it. That takes a cargo ship, or we could just dismantle it and get some resources. That way, I'm going to restart it. I think that it sounds like it's going to get us some polymer. We have to pick... a cargo ship to do it, so we just built one. We'll use you to send that over. We have some alloy to spare. Not that much, though. We don't have to click this. We could wait, but we'll check. Administrator, the integrity of the hull fell below 75%. Current damage exceeds the tolerance level set by the knee-high structural theory. It would be wise to commission repairs so as to prevent mission failure. I don't love doing this, because it costs more alloy, but I don't want to reject too many of these. So we end this now, and we turn this on. It's at low efficiency. We just have to get it back up to 75%. So we start, and it consumes them pretty quick. And then I'm going to have go and pick up iron as well, so that we can start processing it at our steel mill. The steel mill is 15 power and 30 workers. It's very, very cost prohibitive. So if we want to do literally anything else, we need to start getting people unthawed, of which there were some from Mars that are coming in. He's still making his way. And then this science ship is stuck at Venus until we give them what they asked for. Okay, let's just make sure we're launching our probes. And we're mostly looking for close iron. That's all that we really need right now. Or just science. So, like, if we're going to come down here, we could check... That might be mercury. Okay, battery tier 1 is unlocked. Polymers coming up. Let's go ahead and research memorials. Memorials are good because they raise stability, but they don't cost any power. So that's very handy. What else can we do out here? Nothing. We're just waiting for this cargo ship. Then that'll start taking down. Then we can head to Mars. I just like to check my fleet every so often to make sure they're doing something valuable. Again, only having one stockpile for iron or for steel is not great, but we're going to burn through it fast enough. It's going to be fine. So this takes 15 iron and makes 15 alloy per cycle. This uses 5.3 per cycle to repair. We're starting to thaw people now, which is good. We don't have housing for all of them, but that's okay. We are going to need more food. So we just need to find a place to put food. So we could just go ahead and do that up here. Yeah, that fits. That will fit nicely. Okay, we're just going to leave these powered down for now. So we want to stay in optimal for as long as possible. As soon as we leave optimal, what's going to happen is it's going to fire an accident event, and as soon as you fire that accident event, then you start getting accidents, just in general. If you can never leave optimal working conditions, then you'll never have an accident ever. It's a bit of an exploit, but we're just going to try and go as long as we can without having to worry about them. So let's go. Because as we're unthawing people, we're going to dip a bit too low in terms of food. So the goal is let's get these set up. Then we can power down our steel mill or our probe launcher, something, just so that we have enough workers to go ahead and start building up a larger supply of food. So kind of come over here. There's some iron there as well, along with some science. We're almost done with Venus. How we looking here? We're also getting some food from the Urshanabi, not a ton, but enough that should keep us afloat while we go negative as we are unthawing this first batch of people. Okay, give me 3 polymers, so building my next probe. And we're just playing on the faster game speed. So my first goal is I'm going to go to the right and unlock Sector 2 to make to have room to build lots and lots and lots of insect farms. Then we'll go to the left into Sector 6, and we're going to make an industrial sector where we can make more steel mills. We can start processing carbon into polymer. We can make silicon into electronics. But this is long term. This is going to take quite a long time to get properly set up appropriately. And we're out of science, so we're just sort of chilling until we can find more with our science ship. So we're really dependent on science right now. We can't really do anything else. The other thing I'd like to do is, I don't need to start building it just yet, but I'm going to queue up a second EVA airlock. That will ensure that we can appropriately repair the hull at a rate that we need, because as soon as we expand into a new sector, I think we need a second EVA airlock to keep afloat. Actually, I don't know if that's true. I don't think we need a second one. Okay, really just waiting for this.
A science shift team has completed a task.
Okay, more people and 30 science. That's good. Let's go and wait for the science. And we're producing enough steel such that we can keep the hull getting repaired while still building something. Now, again, I think we're negative on food. We have thawed people. We have thawed some people, but not enough to crew most of the stuff. And also, they're having housing issues. So we're going to have to probably go into overworked on purpose here pretty soon. Okay, I think that's... yeah, asteroid belt. We'll do that. Can we grab the silicon with it as well? Nope, that's fine. You got debris field. I think we'll come down to Mars. We'll go to Mercury and then hit the debris field. The debris field is probably the best event, but there's so much at it that we can't afford it. Like, we can't afford to take it in right now, if that makes any sense. So the problem here is we thawed people and got virtually no workers from them. So I guess I should have pointed this out. So there are workers and there are non-workers. Non-workers at this point in the game do literally nothing except consume your food and take up housing. So that is bad news. We are going to... I know for sure we're going to need more housing, so we can throw down a couple here. Just because, again, we're going to need them. And all it costs the alloy and it costs power. Just make sure we're checking for probe scans constantly. And I'm really just looking for rich iron deposits that are kind of close. See if we can get both here. You know, 2 with 1 probe is handy. Come on. Looks like you can't quite... Oh, yeah, there we go. All right. It's not super close, but it's close enough. How's our fleet collection doing? Yeah, that's good. Go and get the people first. The people have to be our priority, and then we can grab the extra polymer. I think that was from Venus because we restarted the assembly line. We've collected all the science. Let's go to Mars. And we're just about done with polymer refinery. We are neutral right now. There's not much room for a polymer refinery. I probably will make one in this sector. Man, I unthought all those people and got virtually no workers for it. So what we can do is we can turn off the cryonics facility and such. That gives us, I think, about 20 workers, which is enough to turn on 2 insect farms, which gets us back above 100%. But we're gonna need to be able to turn those back on so that we can thaw these people. Huh. Okay, science ship team has made it. Mars. An old disused complex named Richter's facility has been located on the surface of Mars. The derelict UN-owned facility is covered almost entirely by Martian sand. Existing DOLOS clearance codes can be used to interact with the complex's systems. Caution is advised as the weight of the sand may exceed the structure's load-bearing capacity. We'll use the access codes that were functional before the Tiqqun's vol jump to interact with the Martian facility. This is the facility that we helped fix their oxygen supplies previously, by the way. Okay, do we really need more iron collection at this point? Just bring in the normal steel, please. The normal alloys. And you, yeah, you're fine collecting normal alloys as well. So because we have alloy coming in like normal, we can turn this off, which would allow us to power our cryonics center. Again, we don't ever want to unpause the game and go into overwork status if we can help it. We can also turn on this for now. And the hope is we'll get some actual workers this time. I realized the extra workers that I had went into the cryonics facility. That's where they all went. Okay, let's check here. We're at Mars. Let's just wait for this quickly.
A science ship team has completed.
The codes briefly reactivated the base's defense systems. Due to the facility's state, they fortunately overloaded and are now offline. The team of the Sensitive did not suffer any losses. Thank goodness. All right, so I think we can pick only one of these. My understanding, again, I played this game before, we pick the storage area because it's the best outcome for science, and science is what we need the most right now. So we're going to pick that. And then just make sure we keep launching probes. It's important that we launch as many probes as we can. There's some iron right there we definitely want, along with some silicon. Right now, again, is just ensuring that our miners and our cargo ships can see any iron that's available. Super, super, super critical. Like, the most important thing right now. So the mule is at this cargo bay, right? So these are no longer in the picture. Just pick up that silicon, please. Or yeah. There we go. That's what we want. Our food production is fine for now. For now. What I might do is move my mess hall over a little bit. We can worry about this later. Right now, I'm not too concerned about it. We can leave this off for now. And again, we're using the docking bay as kind of its own little thing to store materials. So these are both going to be loaded up with iron eventually, and then it'll get turned into steel. You know what? We don't need to be on the fastest game speed, but at least things will run. So we're waiting here. Just need to keep launching probes, really. I don't know if doing Venus first was the best choice. It used up a lot of our cargo ships in our science team's time when we really needed that time for other things. Okay, getting that memorial. Let's go ahead and follow up with an electronics factory. That turns silicon into electronics. Again, we have no room for any of that right now. I do have enough. I have enough steel that let's go ahead and do this. This is going to kick us. I mean, just because we have alloy on the dock. And the docks, I think, can hold close to 300.
A science ship team has completed a task.
Okay. We managed to locate and extract a small quantity of resources from the facility's storage area. During the final stages of extraction, one perimeter team discovered a wall on the verge of collapse. They warned us before it gave way, and sand flooded the area. No one was seriously injured. So, again, it's the science team stuff is fairly lenient, as I mentioned in the prologue. It's lenient at the beginning of the game. But later on in the game, if we would have done this, like 3 people would have died to sand. Okay, more alloy, more people. So we end data listening. And we collect here, and then once that's done, we can head up to Mercury. Let's make sure we continue to look for places. That's some good iron right there, but let's grab the science. Hang on. Make sure that's powered off, because I don't have the work. Oh, I do have the workers for it now, because we've been thawing people. Again, housing will continue to be a problem, so we're going to put this stuff, yeah, like that. That should be fine. The important thing is eventually we're going to want to squeeze a polymer facility kind of in here. So actually, no, I don't like that in that location. I also need to consider... I need to consider where to put... Well, anything, really. I mean, food is okay. We're verging on wanting to open a new sector, but the real constraint there is workers. Right? So we can just keep unthawing people. As long as we stay above 100% on food... We're going to just unthaw as many people as we can until... Because we need 40 workers in order to open up the next sector. So let's go ahead and get this built. We have 15 cycles to repair the hull up to 75%, of which we're actually very close. Let's make sure we just keep shooting probes. So there was iron down here, right? There's a pretty good... Yeah, there, I was going to say, a pretty big chunk of it. Right there. So, min-max me is committed, like, I don't want to have to mine out the whole system. It's only mining out the system insofar as it supports us in some goal. It's not doing it just to do it. We'll see. We'll see what we have to do. We can mine silicon for later. But right now, you know what? One of you mine silicon, one of you can mine. Yeah, that's fine. The sooner we can open an industrial sector, the better, but food and space for more food structures is going to be absolutely critical. Okay, now we can make memorials. Memorials have a weird size to them. They're sort of hard to squeeze into a specific place. So we're probably going to end up moving some of our housing, which should be okay because we're going to move some people that live in Sector 1 over to Sector 2, which is going to be our food sector. And that should be fine. I think as soon as we could turn the cryonics center off, we should be considering doing that. Actually, now that we're here, let's check. So the polymer facility would be here. We can move the mess hall, which means we can fit one more house right here. We can also build houses in here as long as we move a road up to support construction. Once it's constructed, you can delete the road. But if you ever want to tear down the structure, you have to rebuild the road. So this area over here, I'm feeling like is going to be good for batteries. So I'm going to queue them. Well, we can't, like I was saying, like in this case, this isn't connected to a road. I don't need batteries right now. I'm just putting this down as sort of a reminder that that's a good spot for batteries. Yeah, so my space structures are all good. I think also there might have been a pop-up and I missed it. But there should be enough space-designated structures right now to be specialized in space. And what that means is that our repairs on the hull are cheaper, which is obviously super important. We almost have this restore hull integrity done, so we can just turn them off. Just go ahead and close some of these. At the very least, this should get us to... I think we have enough space structures that it should already count, actually. Okay, you grab this, and you grab this. And you grab people. Finish the polymer and then grab the people. And then... yeah, more people at Mars. It's like we could pick up people at Mars first, and then we found more people. That's what it looks like. And probe launching, super important. The hydrogen that you see is not important. I'm not going to be going for that, so don't worry about it. We don't need that until much, much later. Okay, let's just grab these. We just want to make sure that our science team has places to go when they're ready to go. How long has my science team been at Mars? That's a mistake. Send it up to Mercury. So long as we have normal alloy, like already smelted alloy coming in, I can leave this off. So, not too worried about that. How are we doing on people? Enough that we could turn this on for long enough to finish this. Okay. So that request is done, no consequences. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. Okay, let's go ahead and queue up the alternate life center for after this. And pretty much, I think the first thing, well, we'll worry about it once we get there. But as soon as we finish this tier, it'll open up the next tier of very good buildings, but also it'll let us get these sub-upgrades. So like the polymer cost reduction is going to be very, very critical for Mission 2. If we can get past Mission 2, I think we'll be fairly smooth sailing, but we're not there yet. And then we need this assistant promotion, which allows a production of science of 3 units every 5 cycles. Currently, we're getting 1 science every 30 cycles. So this is massive, but we need to get there. Close the tech tree. Okay, this is collecting science. Pause, and then we're going to send this over to... we could go to Saturn. That's a very long event. Let's go to the debris field first. And then we have another probe. I think this should be Uranus or maybe Neptune. I think that's Uranus, and this is Neptune out here. And I think that's all the points of interest except Outer Hope, which is kind of out in that area. We'll worry about that later. And there should be enough iron around the map to harvest for now. Once you pick all this up, you can switch over to iron. Yeah, that's fine. That's acceptable. You know what? Just don't even do iron right now. What has this mule been doing? Where is it? I think it's this guy. He's just got a long way to go. No. Oh, he's going to Venus. Venus is where it was the pickup was. It's just a long way away. All right, we have enough iron, access to iron, that we should be fine for now. How are we doing on people?
A probe has completed its scan.
How are we doing on food? 133% is good. Haven't had to turn on the infirmary yet.
A science ship has arrived at its destination.
Okay, this is what we're looking for. We have verified the data several times and confirmed the existence of a vast debris field covering an area of several thousand kilometers. At the center of the field is a colossal artificial structure, which, even in its ruined state, makes the Tiqqun look like an insect. No signals have been detected. We've identified 3 areas of investigation. The core of the structure, a secondary structure that looks to be remains of a destroyed loading dock, and a partially dense area of debris field close to the other 2 sites. We recommend the utmost caution taken when approaching these areas. The floating debris will make navigation difficult and interfere with communications. The sensitive is holding station at the edge of the debris field. A route has been mapped through the areas identified for investigation. Right. So let's go to the core of the structure. That's fine. And there's, again, until we get more people, there's not much we can be doing. I can just turn these off because we have no cryopods. We are definitely going to need more polymer soon. Okay, I'm just gonna stop bringing in more... It's okay that these are idle. I don't like that they're idle, but it's okay that they're idle. You know what? Yeah, one of you go and get that singleton, and then that frees up this guy to go and get the cryopods. I don't want to overload my loading docks, because we need space to drop stuff off. Who do you... You're the mule. Mule... You know what? Cancel this. You go get the people. You can pick up normal iron. Okay, and yes, we've turned this off, so this is going to go down. I just have to remember... I'm going to save. I just have to remember to to actually turn it back on when the state of the hull gets very low. So cryopods, very important. We have 211 free workers, but we have to remember that 30 of those are spoken for with this steel mill. So we're going to try and just get access to more people, just up to the point where we might hit homelessness, impacting stability, or running out of food production. First, visuals reveal a huge damaged structure surrounded by arches that have detached from the central axis. These arches show extreme signs of deterioration. The structure is covered in traces of explosive residue, collision impacts, and scarring from unknown weaponry. After exploring the few areas of the structure that remain accessible, the team of the Sensitive spotted a number of salvageable resources near a ruined assembly line. Further analysis is possible, but will take time. Resume. Let's go ahead and check the ruined assembly area that we have since unlocked. I wish I should have waited and gotten the 10 science first, but that's okay. Okay, yeah, they're out there mining away. Let's use our probes. I think that's Jupiter. Let's see if there's more places we can mine. We are going to need carbon, so it's important that we find some to actually get now. We can at least mine it so that it can then be picked up. So looking at the map, so the little drill icon means that there's iron to be mined. The little cargo icon means there's iron that can now be picked up. So the miners don't bring it back to the Tiqqun. They just mine it and leave it there, and then the cargo ships have to go and get it and bring it back. Okay. Yeah, we're just looking away there. What about our next solar... Staying ahead of our solar power is super important, especially if we open up another sector. 45 polymer we have just enough for. We're not really spending polymer on much else, except... Well, you know what? No, let's wait and see if we can get the upgrade to make them cheaper first. That'll probably push us right up against the amount of power needed. Did something just complete building? What was that? We do have superfluous food, so I could turn some of these off. 116. Exactly 100. So let's keep one on because we have cryopods coming in. We could turn these on.
Hull integrity below 50%.
That's okay for now. Now, the alloy is getting perpetually eaten up, keep in mind. I could spend some to get a battery. It's not super important, but we will need it eventually. Okay, so in terms of people, we need 40 to open this up, but then we need 30 to turn the steel mill back on. If we expand over here and quickly build some insect farms, then we could deconstruct these, and that'll give us some alloy that we can have as a bit of a buffer. I wish it just outright said what your available worker count was rather than make you have to calculate it, but it's, you know, it's 30, it's 25, right? Which is still not enough to open this unless we maybe turned off our probe launcher as well. And to be fair, we don't need the probe launcher for much else. Ice is not something we need right now. We might collect some at the end of the chapter just to have it. Okay, so maybe looking for more silicon and more iron. Again, it's just there to mine it, and once it's mined, then... Carbon and silicon are very rare in this, in the solar system, so we just want to make sure we get as much of that as we can.
A science ship team has completed a task.
Good timing. You know what? Let's let them collect the science first. 250 cryopods. After examination, the sensitive teams concluded that the site was evacuated prior to its destruction. Finding uniforms and equipment bearing the insignia of different organizations, it appears this facility was property of the UN. Strangely, a number of embalmed bodies were found in a secluded area. The team was unable to determine the cause or outcome of the conflict, but have managed to recover further resources. These have been packaged for extraction. 250 people. So we have to be careful we don't bring them all. We just need enough to open up the next sector, because if we overload ourselves with cryopods, we might end up accidentally unthawing too many. We just have to remember to turn off the cryo center. Okay, let's examine the loading dock. In terms of people, how's our food situation? We're still at 112. Again, these are 8 workers. So we're looking to get close to like 220-ish, and I would feel more confident opening it up. Again, we need to be able to turn this back on. I mean, we could just do it now, but we'd have to turn off the cryo center. Let's just let these people thaw and then turn it off. I actually, you know what? Don't pick up those people. Let's just go ahead and bring the polymer over. And then, again, when to open up the next sector is very, very, very dicey. Like, you can hit a death spiral very quick in this game, which is why I'm very, very careful. Looks like we could get both here somehow. There we go. We do need that polymer, and I need the ability to start turning carbon into polymer as well. Not quite there yet. Okay, that's fine. You grab one set of them. That's acceptable to me. Just keeping an eye on this, and we're keeping an eye on this. Again, it's just, I don't know what the ratio of non-workers to workers is that you get per cryopod. So you just unthaw people and just sort of hope that you're getting what you need.
A science ship team has completed a task.
Okay, you're done. Frozen human remains constitute the majority of the debris that surrounds the loading dock. Evidence suggests that the area experienced depressurization after a structural breach. The dock itself has been looted and partially dismantled. Several cairns have been left behind, arranged in helical shapes and erected using makeshift materials. The team did find a few resources, and these have been prepared for extraction. All right, and then we can survey the dense area of debris. Let's add the electronic there to our pickups. And you've got nothing to get. We could have you bring more iron, or we can assign you to people. You know, it's okay that they're idle for a little bit. It really is okay. I think it might bother some folks, but it must be done. I'm thinking, just because we have a little bit of breathing room with steel, that we want to go ahead and move into Sector 2 now. In terms of power, we should be okay. The goal is to move these insect farms over to the other sector, as many as we can, to free up space. That space will then allow us to build a polymer factory and an electronics factory to keep us afloat and get those resources while we continue to unthaw people. We can also have housing in Sector 2, more housing, which eventually, I would say it wouldn't take that long to then open up Sector 6 with that in mind. But the longer we sit here and wait, the harder it's going to be, because we're going to have to turn the steel mill back on eventually. It's just, do we have enough people to make this work? We have just enough to open up the next sector and be able to turn this back on pretty soon. If we just keep thawing these folks, hopefully we would have enough, and that hopefully also won't kick us over the line in terms of the amount of needed food. Again, it's just we have a bit of a buffer here as well with the amount of food in storage. So yeah, I think let's do it. When we come back, I'll go ahead and I'm going to open up Sector 2. This seems like the appropriate time to do it, since again we have a little bit of a buffer, and we're not auto repairing the hull until it gets much lower anyway. So I think this will be okay. We'll see. All right, thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.